Today, we're taking a deep dive into a powerful question. What does it truly mean to make it in today's American economy? Is it still possible to build a life of dignity, stability, and peace of mind? Or are we chasing a promise that's no longer rooted in reality? We're unpacking the pressure of survival in a system that is, at the very least, questionable in whether it was ever designed for everyone to thrive. This conversation is real. It's relevant. And for many, it's long overdue. So stick around and meet our hosts and join in as they take a jab at this controversial topic. Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week, where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten. And the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher. And the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, everybody. Good evening once again. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets, everybody. And we're so excited to be here. We're so excited to be back on live. More importantly, to be with you. Give yourself the round of applause. That's right, friends. And I'm so honored, friends. I say this every week because I want you to feel the love, respect, and admiration I have for our platform. And I'm talking about, friends, not only we have two amazing brothers. We have the amazing Keith Fletcher. This brother here, if you don't know his story, you need to tune in to Facebook. If you don't want to tune in on social media, Facebook, I get that. But check his YouTube channel out. It's called The Blind Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, I'm talking about the amazing Keith Fletcher.
What's going on? What's going on? Great introduction, Extraordinary.
Hey, that's right, friends. And look here, my fellow Americans. This man here, the man with the golden voice, the man with the voice of reason. Man, I recently just met this brother, Bill from Keith Fletcher. Fletcher introduced this man to me, and the first show he appeared on, I promise you, man, the brother was so smooth and was so unfeathered. Seemed like he was so assured where he was coming from. And the reason why he was so assured, because he's a solid person. You see, when you're solid on the inside, it will automatically reflect itself on the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one and only, the one and only, Mr. Vincent Craig, everybody. Mr. Vincent Craig. And together,
boy, you just blowing up, boy.
Man, I can't help it, brother. Now together, the three of us, we call this platform World Premiere Word on the street. Put that in y'all pipe and smoke it. We're excited, friends. We're always excited. Look, we come on once a week. So what y'all expect? This stuff has built up, man, we had a long time to let this stuff build up inside of us. And let me just take you all back before we start chopping it up, friends. We've been talking about some things that we believe resonate not only with us here on the platform, we believe the topics that we talk about resonate with you as well. So we've been talking about interrupt, let's see, procrastination and conquer, identity interruption, the silent battle within. And tonight, friends, we're talking about making it in America. This is still possible. Can you still make it in America? Can you still make it and still make it with dignity? Or is it all an illusion? So with that, friends, look, we got a lot of people in the chat room, brothers, before we start getting it on. Because y'all know once we start getting into this program, it's gonna be thick. We see Selena in the chat room. We see, let me see, the brother here, Mark, how you say that last name? Bridgman?
Bergman.
Mark Berkman in the chat room,
Bergman.
Adiana in the chat room, and they already blowing it up, friends. So we just want to give you all a hand also for joining us and for being here with us. Brothers, it's so good to see y'all. Good to be back with you all. Since we're talking about such a meaty subject, what it takes to make it in America, and normally I start off with you, Vincent. I want to just, Fletch, I want to pivot this question to you, my friend. I know you always telling Vince, go ahead, man. So I want to ask you, Fletcher, from your perspective, what do you think it takes to make it in America today, 2025?
We talking about making it from nothing or just making it period? No.
Wherever you want to take it from.
All right, I just think, man, it's still the same hard work, sacrifice, dedication, man. Knowledge. You got to get some understanding, some knowledge. I think you got to read a book. You got to open up a book. You got to figure out what you want. It's going to take some visionary. You got to sit down and spend some time in that. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to spend some time and really figure out what do you want to do. And once you figure out what you want to do, deep dive into that, what it takes to be that, how much it make, how long, you know what I'm saying, what they look at. You need to find out all that information to do, then say what it takes, you know what I'm saying, to be in America. Then you got to decide what you want. Because what I want and what Vince wants and you want is different things, you know what I'm saying? So I don't dictate. I done learned a long time ago what I want and somebody else wanted two different things. And I think that's another problem. I think we looking to our left and looking to our right, and our left and right really don't know. And I think you need to figure out something for whatever you want to do in life, go figure it out and do it. That's what it's going to take in America. You got to go sit down and come up with a plan and figure out what you want to do, understand how much it takes, understand how I look, and understand the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. That's the first thing. That's what I believe you have to do. Before you buy anything and spend any money, that's what I feel it is.
What say you, Vincent?
Very well said, Keith. I know for me, the first thing is, like Keith said, you have to have a plan. Uh, Meaning, what success looks like for me may not look the same to Keith or either you, right? I asked my sons that. My oldest is very quick to say that very same thing. Success looks different to me than it does to him, right? I'll give you a good example, and then I'll answer your question. Keith knows my oldest. Well, Keith knows my middle son, V2. So when I do the dishes, I can get done in 5 minutes. Back whenever V stayed here at the house, V is moves at his own pace, snail's pace, turtle. But when you put the boxing glove, he's different. When he does the dishes, it takes him 30 minutes. I came up to him one day and I said, man, you know what? I can get those things done in 5 minutes. He looked at me in a respectful voice and he says, but it's getting done, right? And I just like, man, I couldn't really get back on them because it's like, hey, this is people move at different paces, right? So for me, it was. Let me step back to answer that question. You got to have a plan. I think the one thing we got to start doing is stop comparing ourselves to everybody else. Uh, we're our own worst enemies, right? But then we keep looking at internet and Instagram and Facebook and all these false realities of what false perceptions, right? Again, it looks different to everybody. What works for me may not work for Keith. What works for you may not work for me, right? But you got to devise a plan. You got to be not afraid to ask questions because success leaves clues, right? I was listening to, I don't know if you ever heard of, who is it, Mel Robbins. She's a speaker and all over LinkedIn and Facebook and the author and things of that nature. And I was reading one of her books called Let Them.
Yeah.
You know, extraordinary and key,
Yeah. I read it.
everybody copies off everybody else. There's nothing wrong with copying off everybody else,
Yes, sir.
but sometimes you got to tweak it and do it a little bit differently, right?
You're right.
So for me, it's going back to that question of how to make it in America. Everyone has their own path, right? Like but you got to watch and be mindful of what to do and what not to do. Again, I think it's in the Bible where it says, even a fool sounds smart until he opens his mouth, right? So for me, it's just being able to ask questions, not comparing myself to anybody else, um, having a plan, having a vision, surrounding myself around people that can get me to where I think I want to be. Right? There's an old saying: "Show me your three closest friends, and I'll show you your future. Show me your checkbook, and how you spend your money. I'll show you your future." Right?
Right. Now your mic breaking in and out.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. I don't. Yeah. Now is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So yeah,
Say
I
that.
don't know
Say
what you
what you
last
said
heard.
again. Say what you said again, because I know that was very important, and they need to hear
The
what.
last part you said, yeah.
Man, I was going so fast, I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
you
That
was
spirit
you
was
was
in them.
definitely.
That
Y'all
spirit
know
was
what
in
that's
them.
like. We all know what that's like, friends. See,
Uh,
this is the thing. This is the thing when you're live, and because we are passionate people, and we are serious about how we live our life and what we're presenting to you. So what you all are hearing is the real authentic self of who we are, which is why when we're speaking from the depths of our soul, we're giving you a part of us. So make sure you all who are tuning in, you listen attentively. This is not just another show. This is three men that's speaking from the depths of their soul, from our life experience. And we're bringing our personal life experience and we're sharing it with you. And tonight, if you're tuning in for the first time, we're talking about making it in America. And we're going to pull the covers back so we can lay down in this bed, but we want to make sure this bed is right. And we want to make sure the bedroom is so right that you want to come in and get in that bed too. Because, friends, I'm gonna push the envelope a little farther so we can really chop it up, Fletcher. Chop it up, Vincent. So when we're talking about making it in America, we're in a society right now, brothers, where I know out here in Louisiana, the average income is from 42,000 to 52,000. Average income. Now, when we say average, that means some people obviously make more than that, and a considerable amount make far less than that. However, to live in a decent neighborhood, homes, stores three times, four times more than that. For a decent home in a decent neighborhood, you're talking about 200,000. And you guys, y'all live in Texas. The average income in Texas is about 60 to 65 average income. homes start at the minimum 350, 325 to 350. So when you're talking about people making that type of income, how does an average person, we're talking about making it in America, how does an average person get to live the American dream in a home in a decent neighborhood? Somebody try to take that and break that down to us.
Well, I can go. I can go ahead. And what's worked for me is, and I was just having what was it? Breakfast with a longtime friend of mine. Hadn't seen him in about 15 years, and we ate. Uh, and one of the things that I told him was the economy is so shot right now, or to some people, right? If you know me like Keith does, you know I'm a penny pincher, right? I find the best values. I'm tight when I walk. I'm so tight I squeak when I walk. Uh, Anyone that knows me that knows that I try to be a good steward of my money. So I told him, I said, you know what the thing is? I said, I've always lived like I'm on the verge of something happening. So when the economy shakes, it really, knock on wood, I've been blessed. I live in a way to where I don't live above my means. And I know Keith and I have had this conversation about living within your means, above your means, and under your means. I live on a daily basis how I spend my money as if the economy has been shot for 30 years, right? I've always been a good steward of my money. I've always budgeted right. Well, I won't say always. There was a time in my 20s where I was credit card, trying to impress girls here and there, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm having this conversation and I'm like, give you a good scenario. Me and my wife went on a vacation, went over to Cabo. I didn't want to do the all inclusive, right? People get tricked into doing the all inclusives. I'm not a big drinker. I'm not going to sit up here and say I don't drink, but I don't drink like that. All inclusive was 150 a person. I said, you know what? I'm in accounting. I said, let me do the budget, right? Long story short, we saved so much money by us just not doing an all inclusive. You got to be smart with your money, right? I'm hearing the prices that you're spewing out as far as the houses and the incomes and the things of that nature. Again, the American dream. What is the American dream? Like, let's try to get that uh, 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 pointed out and say, because again, the American dream for you might be different. It might be different for Keith. It might be different for me. It used to be a white picket fence and a house and this and that. Okay, you get the white picket fence and the house and this and that, you're still not satisfied. The things that make us happy will also make us sad. Or, case in point, you may live next door to someone that's not taking care of their house. It's driving the value of your house down because your next door neighbor isn't taking care of what they've been blessed with, right? So again, you need to define what it is that you want. And again, this is just a suggestion for me, right? We're not soothsayers, we're not palm readers, we're not people that, try to tell the future, but we're just trying to give a suggestion of what has worked for us, but you got to find out point blank, what is it that you want? And then try to find the means to get there. Unplug from the phone, unplug from the TV, get off social media sometimes, right? It's okay if you're on here, you have a platform and you're trying to do things, but sometimes we really need to unplug and get away from the distractions so it'll allow us to think and use our creative mindset. We've lost the creativity. The days of when me and Keith and you outside, mom would say, go outside. Don't come back until the street light comes on, right? Y'all are familiar with that, right? Now it's like when the power goes off and the internet, oh, we can't play games anymore. Our children are losing the creativity, right? So challenge yourself. Read a book a month. If you're not a big reader, do an audio book a month. Do something to continue to build your mindset to where you can make it. Keith, it's over to you, brother.
Well, I'm gonna speak in past and present, the old Keith and the Keith I am now. Now, if you was at the old Keith, that the American dream, I want a house. I was raised up in a house. But let me explain to you, like people say they can't afford a house. A house is a house. If the mindset I had back then, I'd have bought a house in the hood because I wanted the house. I didn't know about value. I didn't know about that. I just knew about I wanted the house. You know what I'm saying? So if I remember the first house we got a rent house, me and my wife and my brother, and I took the house. We went to the house, and when we bought it looked bad. And my wife say, "Man, who would want to live here?" I said, "Hell, you would want to live here. You done moved over here in this new place. Now you talking about if you ain't had nothing but this, you'd have loved this." I said, "You'd have loved this house." It was a nice area, but the house needed smaller cabinets. We got bigger cabinets. The countertops were blue. Our countertop is granite. It's all those things, but what I saw more than what she seen. So me, the old kid, I just wanted the house. And if I'd have gotten that house, I'd have made that house what I wanted, made it for me. That'd have been the American dream. I feel the American dream is that whatever you say that you want, you should be able to go get it. That's the dream. That's it for me. I said I wanted to get a house. My wife lived in an apartment all her life. I said I want to get a house. I want my kids to have their own room. And I was able to have a dream and could meet that. That's the American dream. You have the ability to say what you want and be able to go get it. That's it, point blank. And I did it. I lost everything before. Any other country you in, you cannot lose everything and then come back and regain everything and more back. That's the American dream right here. So to say that you can't have something, I'm sorry. I don't believe it because I did it. I done been lost multiple times and still got up and got it. Got another job, reinvented myself multiple times. That's the American dream, that you have the ability to do that. That's why everybody want to come to America. You can't do that nowhere else. No other country that you can do what we can do in America. That's why everybody want to be here. So the American dream is whatever you want to do, you can figure it out and you can have the ability to go do it. And that's what happened to me and all the other things that came with it. I love it. Just being, even you can make a mistake. When I first got my house, I had no idea, and the Most High brought me right here in this community. Brought me. I never thought I would be, and I didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to look for. I know where I want to live." I was like this. And the realtor said, "Let me take you over here." I got over here. I didn't even believe that I could have something like this. That's what I mean. A fool. I was a fool. I cursed out the realtor. I cursed out the sales guy. I'm telling you, I was a fool. Now y'all had no idea. And I end up. I'm gonna show you how powerful America is. The people that built my house, I started working for them. I had no experience. The guy that sold me my house, we became friends. He got me. This is the most money I ever made. This is what I'm telling you. This is what happened to me. The most money I ever made was made for me making the decision to say, I saw a dude on the TV. Let me tell you, I'm sorry. I saw a dude on the TV coming from the club. I saw a dude on the TV said, "You deserve a home. Bless your heart." His name Bobby Ray. I used to see him all the time. I told my wife, I said, "Am I high, baby?" And this dude keep coming on his TV. He talking to me. He telling me I deserve a house. My wife said, "You serious?" I said, "Baby, I'm telling you. He in a suit. The man got gold watches. He look good." And he telling me I deserve a house. My wife said, "Well, why don't you write the number down and call him?" I said, "Oh, you think I should call him?" Yeah. I called him. I'm here. Only in America. That's the dream right there. Every day you wake up, the Most High wake you up to be and do, to have. In America, you were born in one of the best countries in the best time ever. And you have the ability to be able to do whatever you want to do. You can be greater than you were, do more than you ever done, and have the million. That's it. That's all you deserve, to wake up the next day. And you woke up in America. You didn't wake up in Africa. You didn't wake up in Australia. You didn't wake up in Canada. You woke up in America. Everybody tried. You ain't wake up in Mexico, a third world country. God, you were born here. That's the blessing right there. Nothing more, nothing less. Just give me another day. That's all I want. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Nah, that was good. If I can add to it, so when you said only in America, all I can think about is Don King, right? Right when you said only in America, right?
Yeah,
right?
Don King was huge with that.
Yeah, it's just. But I'll add to that, Keith. I think one of the main things is I had a coworker that I used to work with, and he was from the Congo, And he told me, I asked him, I used to mentor with him and we used to chop it up. I said, what is the one thing that you notice about Americans here? And he says, Americans here don't take advantage of opportunities.
Don't.
And I listened to them, and he explained it to me. Again, he's from the Congo, right? So we have first world problems here. He has third world
Yeah,
problems
well,
there, like real problems, real issues, food, shelter, drinking water, like something that we just haven't experienced unless you're in Detroit as far as drinking water or either homeless, right? But he said, Americans just don't take advantage of opportunity. I know, Keith, you've heard of Omar's, right? Omar's Wheels and Tires.
yeah.
I've been going there for about 12 years, and it used to be owned by like this other guy. He was on the corner, right? Now, if you've seen his establishment, he's taken that whole block and he sells, like, he's probably the biggest distributor of wheels and tires in the nation. And I asked him on Sunday when I went, I said, man, when you started here all this time back, did you see this vision? He said, yes. I said, how? He said, because I believed in myself and I took advantage of the opportunities that were given to me. He said, I'm here on a Sunday. He said, I'm here working. He said, I get it. He said, God, Sabbath and this and that, day of rest. But he said, you know what? I'm in a position where I'm trying to establish something and I'm doing the work. Sometimes, man, people are just lazy and they just don't want to put the work in. Like, let's be real and let's be honest. Like, we've heard it so many times, and I'm not trying to make this a race thing and, oh, it's the man that's keeping me down and this and that. No, it's yourself keeping you down sometimes. Now, I get there are some situations where it may be kind of things that are out of our control. Let's just say that, right? But if you have opportunities, like, you got to capitalize on that. You got to put the work in. Everybody wants to be great, but they just don't want to put the work in, right? It's the hard work that pays off. Like I really don't like the phrase work smarter, not harder. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of hard work. You can kind of mix the two. Work hard and work smart. Mix the two together. But you got to take advantage of the opportunities, but you got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. You got to have a vision. Those that fail to plan, those that fail to plan to fail. I was taught that at an early age, right? Sometimes, I failed at some things, but I didn't stay down, right? It's the adversity and the things that I learned while I was down that got me back up and try to get me to go just a little bit harder. We're in a softer society, right? People give up a little bit quicker at times, So, and I like what Mark said, it's earned, not given. So we'll
Yeah.
turn it over to you, extraordinaire.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, friends, that I want to add. Both of these gentlemen here, Word on the Street community, they are very versed in the field of economics, and so I want to just kind of add to the premise of my question about making it in America, and I threw out a lot of statistic about the average income and the price of a home, and you see, oftentimes we get sidetracked to what the world set before us. Now, both of these gentlemen, I know Fletcher for sure is in the market of real estate. And when you're talking about making it in anything, it would be important for you to go around people and hang around people in their profession and see what they do. A person who into automobile, see what that person does to get that kind of car, or she does, or someone in finance, hang around somebody like a Vince, see how he invests his money, see what Fletcher does to get a home of such. And so one of the things they both will tell you all is that what's presented before them on face value, they don't just go out there and just go down that rabbit hole. It's like both of them said, they investigate. And so when we start investigating to make it in America, just because the stats says the average home for a decent neighborhood is 200,000, Louisiana 325 to 50 in Texas, who say I got to get my first home at that? Why can't I get a 60,000 home, invest in it, fix it up, and flip it? I'm in the program. I'm an own owner. When you become an own owner, Fletcher, do that give what kind of leverage being an own owner bring? Do that bring me a little bit more leverage than a non-homeowner?
Man, with your equity and all, yes, bring more.
Talk to me, man. Share that with them about pulling themselves up. You see, we get sidetracked, Vincent, as you all know so well. We get sidetracked with the glitter that is constantly before us every day. And I think the glitter is the illusion. We get caught up with the illusion. Yes, we all want to live in the perfect neighborhood. Vincent, I think you said it. We grew up with this imaginary home, picket white fence and what have you, what have. We all want that. We all want that nice. We all want to start with a $250,000 home.
Mhm.
But is that really real for your first home to be that?
You got to crawl before you can walk.
Talk to me, y'all. Let's chop it up, man, so that people would know we know where you at, brothers and sisters out there, and we're here to talk about that. So let's talk about
Again, like I said, when I went to first got my first home, I was sitting there with the realtor. We having our meeting. They check your credit, they check everything, your income and all that. So they come in there and say, "Oh, congratulations, Mr. Fletcher, you can get a house up $350,000." I heard $350,000. I lost my mind. I said, "Man, you done lost your mind." I said, "Baby, let's go." Woman, I can't afford no $350,000 home. Get up, let's get up. The lady looking at me. She said, "Mr. Fletcher," I said, "Up to. You don't have to get no $350,000. Come on, calm down." Scared the mess out of me at the time. Now I wish what I know now. I wish I would have got that $350,000 home. But anyway, I'm saying I wish I would have bought it.
But it's not the route for everyone.
That home worth about $1 million right now. I wish I would have bought it.
it.
When you know, you know. When you don't know, it's what you
Yeah,
don't know what's hurting.
yeah,
It's the stuff
yeah,
you don't know. You see what I'm
yeah,
But you
yeah,
saying?
got
yeah,
to be
yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah.
afford it too,
Hey,
though, right?
look, you just said something important somebody missed. You said had you got it at 350, would you say it
Ooh,
might be worth now?
ooh, it's
How
probably worth
much?
$1 million. One
Yeah.
point $1 million.
All right, go ahead on, man. I just wanted that point to be heard.
And see, but again, when you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you dealing with a mindset, a limited mindset. Lack, man. I was telling you, I just got divorced. I was going through divorce. Me and my wife, man, my new wife. I was just coming out of hell at the time, and I was scared. I couldn't lose nothing in my mind. I couldn't take a chance. I was so scared. But at the end, I realized one day I got more to gain than to lose. See, I started understanding what's my risk tolerance. I can't say what's Vince or what's yours. What am I willing to do to get what I want?
Mhm.
That's what my mind said. When I realized that, and then when I realized I didn't even think about my wife. I said what I'm willing to do. I didn't say what we willing to do. I was what I'm willing to do to get what I want for my kids and my family. And I went on a terror after that. And I put my head down. But like I say, buying a house, when I bought my home, I contacted my brother. He had a house, and I had a good friend named Errol and Mary. They bought a house. And they talked me through it. They talked me through the whole thing, and they helped me get through that, all this stuff. Because again, I was living in a lack mindset. My fear was overcoming. I didn't want to make no mistakes. I'm putting everything on the line for this. I told my wife that I'm gonna get it, and I don't want to fail her, So I was trying to educate myself to understand what it means to get a house. And I'm gonna tell you this right here, extraordinary. I'm gonna tell you, Vince, if I could do it again, I wouldn't even do it like that. I built my first home. If I could have did what I did, I'd have bought me a home in the neighborhood, but it wouldn't have been the best home in the neighborhood. I'd have bought me a home, a foreclosure, or something. One of my partner did. in a little neighborhood around here, and he won. Man, he won big. So he sold it, got the equity out of it, and bought him a bigger house. So it's so many ways to do this, and all we know about is the house. And like Stronell was saying, it's more thing than just the house. You know what I'm saying? I tell my kids the three rules to the game: get your money first, get your money first, get your money first. Get your money first at the beginning of the deal. Get the understanding what you're doing with your money. How can you win at the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Negotiate at the beginning. I don't want to wait till no 30 years out no, at the beginning. So that's the understanding. Like it's so much you can do, but again, like Vince said, it's your planning and what you want. Have you sit down and said, what do I really want this house for? What the cause is? Do I plan on moving 5 years? Do I buy all these things he came when you? But it's a lack of knowledge and getting understanding. So go ahead, Vince.
No, I like what you said as far as you said some key things. I think when a lot of people go in and they go to see what they've been approved for, right? You said, oh, $350,000. What? Let's go. Sometimes, and again, everyone's different, right, Keith?
Yeah.
We look at what the home may be worth right now. We could say $1 million. A lot of people may not have been able to. They may have been told that they can afford the 350.
But they
But
couldn't.
again, this is where I have to scale back to reality and be like, okay, maybe if I do the math and look at, because I think about what if something happens down the road, right? So I'm very cognizant and aware of, okay, they say 350. Let me do maybe about 200, two and a quarter, right? This way I can manage that. And again, like we've been talking about, crawling before we can walk, right? If you're in that situation where you can do that, then by all means, right? Because a house is an asset, right? We talked about assets, we talked about liabilities, things of that nature, right? You want more assets than you want liabilities, right? So the home is an asset. Sometimes we got to understand where we're at from a financial standpoint. And again, if you got one income coming in, if you got two income coming in, right? Sometimes you have to do a little side hustle, right? You got to have other streams of income coming in, right? Whether it be a yard service, whether it be a CPA firm, whether it be an Airbnb, whether it be investing, right? I'm big on trading. I'm big on investing. I hit the market long term with my investments and on my trades. I hit it from that point, whether the stock market goes up or stock market goes down, I'm still getting paid, right? Depending on what kind of options I call, right? So we got to sometimes go back and see, hey, what are ways that we can make money to get that American dream, right? And again, going back to what Keith said, I was writing this stuff down. Mark brought up a good mark out in the chat. A lot of people just don't invest. And that old saying is, if I knew back then what I knew now,
Mm.
I wish my mom, I'm thankful that she got me a savings account started out, right? But I wish like hell my mom would have invested in the market, because that 20 or 30 years on top of me working 30 or 40 years, putting the money inside there, like Mark said, it only takes $10 a month.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been fearful of the stock market, right? It's compound interest, right? If you put it in the right things, and if you know and you get around people that, hey, what do I invest in, right? Keith's big on the real estate side. I'm big on the stock market side, right? And then me and Keith will swap ideas and say, hey, tell me about this part because I really don't know much about the real estate game. Can you educate me on this? Sometimes we just got to humble ourselves and we got to ask questions on how do we get there. There's a lot of knowledge. And I think, gosh, what's the Les Brown? Les Brown said the richest place in the world is a
There
graveyard,
you go.
because there's so many people that have died with these great ideas that they just didn't share with people. Be honest with you, sometimes me and Keith aren't like that. Uh, Extraordinary, I know you're not like that. Sometimes we hog stuff and we want to keep it to ourselves. Sometimes we got to share
That's
in order for it to get out into the world. Too many of us are hogging the information, and it's like we should be giving it. To whom much is given, much is required, much is expected, right? We got to share, we got to give information, we got to be like iron sharpening iron. We got to make the sacrifices and work. Sometimes if I know it's something that I want, I got to laser focus, put the horse blinders on, and I got to be like, look, this is my time. I'm going to chat with people a little bit later, but right now I'm hustling for the next month because it's something that I want, right? Again, we lie to ourselves more than anyone, but we got to take a chance and step out on faith. How do you kill an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? You can't eat it all at once. You eat it bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. This is where that $10, $20 investing into the market over a 20, 30-year period and letting that compound interest. For guys like us, we're a little late in the game, right? We've had more life behind us than what's in front of us, right? But we got to educate our kids, other people that we come in contact with that are younger, to help educate them and say, hey, don't be afraid to get into the stock market. Get that compound interest. Get your 401k. Let it match. A lot of people just don't do that. Life insurance. That's a whole nother topic that we can get into. Again, generational wealth for a lot of other people is built off life insurance. But I'm going to let you take it from here, Extraordinary.
Hey, folks, no mistake about it, friends. This is the world premiere of Word on the Streets. We're going to take a small break. But I do, man, you stole my thunder because I wanted to echo, but I'm going to echo Mark again anyway, because it was just that potent and important. Look, friends, it's never too late. Start where you are. Mark said, start as little as 10, 20, every paycheck. And then when you got a little nest egg build up, now you can invest. But you don't have to wait until you get a large sum. You can incrementally build a large sum. Pay yourself first, folks. Pay yourself first. Also, we like to welcome, let's see, Antonio just pulled up. Thank you for joining us on World Premiere Word on the Streets. We're going to take us a small break. Please don't go anywhere because we have a part two that we are coming back to you live.
Discover your purpose and ignite your passion with our motivational t-shirt. Wear your why on your sleeve and let it fuel your journey. Perfect for anyone seeking inspiration and motivation. Know your why, fuel your passion t-shirt, and start living the life you deserve. Available now. Wear your passion proudly.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it, because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
This isn't just about you and me. This is about teaching our kids that their self-worth is not determined by their job title. This is about reinforcing the fact that not all noble work neatly translates to a line on a resume. This is about setting the example that we all have a responsibility to contribute to the world in a way beyond contributing to one organization's bottom line. So the next time you're at a party, instead of asking someone, "What do you do?" I encourage you to add 2 small words to your question. Instead, ask them, "What do you like to do?" Maybe you like to cook. Maybe you like to write. Maybe you do some of those things for work. Or maybe you don't. But what do you like to do is a question that allows each of us to define ourselves on our own terms.
Want more? Start with Healing the Inner Child, the ebook that's changing hearts on Gumroad. Then dive deeper with the journals that started the movement. Inspired Journal. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. My Destiny Journal. It's Possible Journal. My Soul Purpose Journal. All journals available on Amazon. Because breakthrough isn't optional, it's overdue.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the conversation going with part 2. What does it really take to make it in today's American economy?
Thank y'all again for tuning in to the world premiere Word on the Streets. I am extraordinaire, and I am so honored and blessed to be on this platform with the amazing Keith Fletcher and the one and only Vincent Craig, ladies and gentlemen. And we're topping it up. What does it take to make it in America economy? And you all just heard the gentleman talking. One of the things, too, is big about this conversation is that we kind of talked about this, and maybe we could drive down this street a little more, is that we oftentimes get so sidetracked, Vincent, watching being on social media platform, watching TV, and just when we think we're just living our life, but meanwhile we get caught up in the system. And as we get caught in the system, we oftentimes lose ourselves. And by losing ourselves, then when we're not living that life that is presented before us, we begin to eternalize and feel like we're failing, as if we are failure. When we're not failing at all, it just is we're buying an illusion that is presented before us when that's not real for you at that time in your life in the first place. And in order to get that dream picture that they keep showing in front of us, that's work to be done. You know, Fletcher, what I find is that so many of us, we're so politically correct that we're afraid to use the word work hard work. We want to dance around those type of words, but sometimes the best way I can communicate to you that it's gonna take some dedication. You're gonna have to look here, sister, look here, man. You're gonna have to stick to this one. If you want to get what you want, you're gonna have to work at this.
Yep.
If you want to get that home, you're gonna have to roll up your sleeve and you're gonna have to commit. That's another word, Fletcher. Commit. Vincent. Certain words, man, out there in the English lexicon, people don't want to wear those words anymore.
Yeah.
Old school, those were normal words. But I understand it's 2025. So let me shut up and catch up with the time. Y'all talk to me out there.
No, I like what Ace Man said, Ace Man 316, and he said it's a shame that schools, especially high schools, don't offer some sort of financial literacy training. Man, that is so true. When I read that, I was just like, man, that's we wait so late in the game to find out about finances, right? We've been talking as far as in the chat and things about investing $10 here, what we call DCA, dollar cost averaging, right, into the stock market. You don't have to have $5,000 to just start something, right? Start with your 401k. Start with a piggy bank. Start with a Coca-Cola bank. Start with anything and start putting a dollar, quarter, nickels, dimes. Do your own savings first. And then when you have enough, then go and put it into the stock market, right? But when he said financial literacy, man, there's an old saying. First generation makes it. Second generation manages it. And the third generation will blow a hole in it if they're not financially literate and taught how to be responsible with the money. It's so many people that just don't know how to manage money, right? And so when he said that, I was thinking about that. I was like, because me and Keith, we've been talking about, we procrastinated about this show, about doing the podcast for what, 3 years, Keith? Like, nah, it never happened, never happened, never happened, never happened. Unbeknownst to me, Extraordinaire and Keith were, before I even met Extraordinaire, we're talking about it, right? Hey, we got to stop procrastinating about stuff. We got to put stuff in because, like a woman carries a child, they can only carry that child for so long, right? You got 9 months of pregnancy. Sometimes you have it early, sometimes you have it maybe a week or two later, but they induce labor, right? We got to induce and start being fruitful with our knowledge and things that we got to share with other people. If you have a vision and an idea, start sharing it, right? Again, financial literacy is one of the most important things that we just have been learning late in the game. We were taught that the stock market is boring because we want that quick dollar, right? Slow and steady wins the race, right? And again, I'm just trying to make sure I'm giving information that has been working for me, things that I share with other people. Again, it may not be applicable to everyone, but someone out there is listening and they will bite off of this and chew on it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but Fletcher, before we go in, not only that, Vincent, in most lower socioeconomic communities, they throw a lot of, I'm gonna just say a lot of trash in front of our eyes, and we find ourselves, our kids find themselves buying things that will not net anything for them in the future. Like we get sidetracked with no look, I love Jordan also, but we get sidetracked investing $600, what have you, in a pair of Jordans, even higher. And sometimes we get sidetracked with things like that in at the worst time in our life. But that's, I guess, for another show. Go ahead on, man.
Hey, Keith, let me interrupt you. Let me extraordinary. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? This is my
Right.
challenge to people, right? If you're going to invest in a pair of Jordans that cost a couple of $100s, Keith knows this like I know this. Invest in what you're buying. Invest in Nike. Invest in Apple. You got an Apple phone? Get you some Apple
Exactly.
stock. You got an
Exactly.
Apple Watch? You should be
Exactly.
owning that
Say that
because
again, man. So everything you like,
yes,
you can invest in.
hmm you can be an owner.
That's right.
I'm an owner of Apple. I can say
That's
it.
right.
I'm an owner
Absolutely.
of Nvidia. I'm an owner of Tesla, right? Because I purchased those stocks, right? So we got to be mindful of, hey, we're in the opportunity zone, right? Of America is one of the greatest places to have a dream and to get rich and things of that nature. We got to be mindful of where our money is going. Get the Jordans. This is what I
That's
challenge
right.
you. Get
That's
you a
right.
pair of Nikes. Get you some Nike stock.
Be
Get you
part
a
owner. Be part
part
owner.
owner. Be part owner.
And you don't
Oh,
have to be rich to be part owner.
yep.
Go ahead
Yep.
on, Fletcher.
So, I'll let y'all maybe miss my point. Hold on, let me see where I'm at. Let y'all talk. Uh, I've been on this finance journey for a while, man. I lost everything, made everything, lost everything, and bad credit. I'm talking about I had it all, man. Anything you think that I done had it. But this money game, this finance thing, just what you don't know. Again, that's what's hurting you. You just don't know, and then you get ducked down in your head, and you start. It's a mindset. You start putting yourself down. You like, I did this. You don't never want to let go of what you did wrong. You want to let go what I could have done, what I should have done. Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. It's just a mathematical problem. And if you do numbers, it's easy. You say $10, $20, all that's true. But then you got to understand what's your risk tolerance. What are you willing to risk for this to get what you want? We can tell you the plan step by step, this, but are you going to listen? Are you going to humble yourself and do what it takes to get it? All of the information is out here. I'm telling you, when I first, like I say, found out that I can get a house, it blew my mind. When I first found out that I could get another house, Oh, man, my brother bought the first house and I went there and he bought it for him. And I'm thinking we doing together, but it didn't work out the way. But the stuff that I learned, the information that I learned that it's possible. Man, I don't need it. I just need to. It's possible for me to get a home. Wait a minute. I can have 2, 3 homes if I just do this. Wait a minute. I can put money in the stock market, and the money can be working. Wait a minute. My dollar, if I'm out 20s, my dollar is worth $88 in the future. So if I can get this and get that. It's possible. So that means I got to go ahead and sacrifice and do the work. And that's what I think people are not willing. They don't believe, and they're not willing to sacrifice. They don't build up some debt. They don't believe they can get out of debt. I got out of debt. They don't believe they can have a home. I bought a home. My credit score. Me and my wife went and got a credit score. Our credit score damn near 400. I think I just barely made 500 credit score. And I went and got a book, and I'm the one fixing my own credit. And listen to me. I am not no smart dude. But I'll be saying, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I believe I can do it. If that man next to me can have it, that means I can have it. But that man, like you said, success leaves crumbs. That means somebody did it. I can copy them. I can get on this social media right now and a billionaire, a millionaire, you know what I'm saying, a six-figure, whatever, they are on here giving me the information. Now it's up to me to take it and do something with it. You say, hey, I said, I want to invest. Go open a broker's account. Where? Vanguard, Fidelity. Well, how am I going to do that? You go online, go to well, then you say I got to do what? Now, what if I lose my money? And now you start asking these questions and all that. Then you tell them step by step. You come back later, it still ain't done. When Vince came to me, he told me about investing years ago. I didn't do it. I said, man, I'm in the real estate, man. I'm doing the real estate thing. You know, I get it. It's so much I got to learn. They blew it off. I wasn't ready for it. But when I got ready, I sit there. I remember I told Vince, I sit there and watch the market go all the way from about, I think NVIDIA was like $50. And I sit there and watched it go from 50 to 200 to 300 to 500 to 800. I said, wait a minute, 900. Wait a minute, I ain't gonna go no more. To 1,000, to 1,100, to 1,500. I could have bought it at $50. I didn't. But
procrastination. Procrastinate.
It wasn't just procrastinate. It was a fear. Let me show you what I'm saying. It's a fear of losing my money.
Yes.
But let me tell you what got me. This is what somebody told me. Now I heard people tell me about the investing and all that. I do 401k, but invest was somebody. When I heard somebody say, "You don't lose your money until you take it out." I say, "What? Your money can drop down, but as long as you don't take it out, it's gonna come back. It's still the money. It's getting more. As long as you don't lose it, till you take it out." So that means right there, they told me this is a long-term play, man. This ain't no overnight microwave stuff. This some stuff this some faith-based. This you talking about faith, this something you got to have faith in. This some stuff that you got to go learn something about, learn that company, learn the business, learn how it works, and then put your faith and put it in there, leave it in there, and let it work.
Yep. That's it.
Before, see, when Vince told me that, it was just him talking. I didn't understand. I had no understanding. But when I got that understanding, I'm all in. When I got that understanding, now I got real estate, and I got invested, and I got a business. What the 3 things make you rich? Real estate, investing, and a business. So now you say what? I don't want them to miss this part right here. The best part of this whole thing, I got the ability to give my children something. Forget giving them a car, giving them a house. I can give them the information. That's the most powerful thing. Like I say, my son in his 20s, I say, your $1 is worth $88 in the future. My son in his 30s, your $1 is worth $23 in the future. My daughter, when she turned 40, your $1 is worth $7 in the future. In your 50, your $1 is worth $3. So that means it's never too late. But what are you willing to give? And what are you willing to do for what you want? You got to sacrifice. You're going to give them some time. You're gonna give some money. You're gonna give some. You cannot put that in there. Blood in, blood out. You're gonna put some blood in there. And most people ain't willing to put it in. Most people ain't willing to get up. I'm not an early morning person. You're not willing to get up, like you said, get that audio book and lay in that. You see, I always got these headphones on right here. I'm always listening.
Yeah.
I'm always learning.
Yeah.
So you ain't willing to learn. All this stuff we saying don't mean nothing.
Yep.
Somebody and let me say one thing more. Your opportunity is always opportunities available. Are you ready for the opportunity? It don't mean nothing if you ain't ready for it. If you ain't prepared for it, if you ain't got the money for it, and listen to me. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say this to you. You do need the money. You do that. No, some people, let me say this to you. Yeah, they say you can get it without money. Yes, them some different animals there. Those people that come without some money, they some risk tolerant. They say, man, I'm putting it all on my, I'm willing to lose everything to get it. If you ain't built like that, you better go. It's easy for you to go save your money, get out of debt, and then play that game like that.
Yeah, Keith, I think the biggest thing that, and I'm glad you said that, one of the biggest things, and sorry to cut you off, brother, one of the biggest things I hate is when people say, I can't afford to invest. You can't afford not to invest.
Exactly.
Let me repeat that. You cannot afford not to invest.
Let me say this. Let me say this one thing right here. And the reason you can't afford not to invest, it ain't just affects you, it affects your children, which affects their children. I'm telling you, this is how big this is. So when people tell me something about this, I love my kids. I love my kids. You can't love your kids as much as you say. If I'm telling you a way to save your, I told you one guy, I said, I done gave you $1 million worth of game. If you just humble yourself in here, I'm telling you something right now will save your whole family, your whole generation, bro. I'm about to give you something. If you just listen to me, this is how big and important it is. When you have a compound cycle added with compound interest, oh my God, the longer you in the game. I just told you, I tell my son, when he go buy tennis shoes, he bought 3 pair of tennis shoes. I say, look, that time, $88. The best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Why you wasting it for the old you? This how big this invest. So when people, you can't, like you say, you can't afford, because I'm telling you, you can go talk to a millionaire that's been invested, a multi-millionaire. And what he gonna tell you, I wish I'd have started sooner, and I wish I'd have put more in.
Yep.
Those are 2 things he gonna say. I wish I'd have started sooner, and I wish I'd have. Look what Vince said. I wish my mother would have told me. He didn't say him, my mother. That means when he was a baby.
See, and I interrupt you on that, Keith. My mom started a savings account, right? At some point in my life, I had to jump from like my kids' savings and had to be like, you know what? Boom, I'm learning. 529. Boom, I'm learning. Charles Schwab account for them. Boom, let me start getting them to invest in the market. Now my kids are investors. Like we got free game. Like it's in the chat, right? Like people saying, what? Take that $15, $20 that you're gonna spend on food. Again, this is when people say, I can't afford to invest. Okay, but you can go spend 50, 60, 80, 90, 100 at the club, but you can't invest in your future. Go back a step further when Keith was talking about people loving their kids. If you love your kids so much, start them off on a Roth IRA or education account and get them started off sooner. This way, you're already setting up a pathway. It doesn't mean that your kids don't have to work hard and learn how to do stuff for themselves, but let's start teaching them something that we didn't learn at an early age.
Okay, let me say this.
Let me just say this too. Friends, as you all tune in and listen in, make sure you all subscribe, click the like button, leave comments on YouTube so you can let the algorithm know that you watch this channel, you enjoy this channel. We appreciate you all for tuning in, being a part. Chat room really been lit up tonight. And a lot of people who are listening and who are not in the chat room, I know that the wheels are turning in your head and you fired up and ready to go. I know you are. But here's the deal, friends. Just like you fired up, and this is the way the brain operates. See, these guys, that's why I'm like a gnat in the room with these guys here. This is their lane. My lane is more in the realm of psychology. That's my area. But I know there's an old word that we don't use anymore, common sense. And Fletcher always say common sense ain't so common no more, extra. But you see, common sense, when you can get this type of information that these brothers are dribbling out, you need to have a pencil and a pad. You need to understand, damn it, I could start as little as $10, $20. Meaning to say I could start there and I could get into this America dream. So what I'm seeing out there on social media, I mean, I don't have to be bling bling to get in. Are y'all? Am I getting this right? I could start at 10. Come on.
Yeah.
So So what we're saying, friends, you can start where you are. And the thing is, the reason why you're not starting where you are, because maybe you're not ready to commit. And Vincent, one of the things you said 2 or 3 times on this program tonight, procrastination. We keep putting off. We keep dragging our feet, Fletcher. So you might feel somebody right now, maybe listen and say, man, I'm too old. That's a lie. Somebody else may say, man, I'm too young. That's a lie. And so now you procrastinated the fact that you're too old or you're too young. And so now you say, well, the heck with it, I'm gonna start. So you start, but now you say, damn it, I don't know what to do when I'm doing, so I'm quitting. Lack of knowledge. So when you have lack of knowledge, guess what? You say you're gonna start, and then guess what? Oh man, this too big, this too scary. So now fear jumps in. You see the procrastination, what it did? It created a lack of knowledge, and what it did, it created fear. Everything negative have a step forward toward you getting nowhere. But if you want to move forward and getting somewhere, do just the opposite of the things that got you nowhere. Get the knowledge, apply the knowledge, and you don't have to start at the very top. Friends, I don't know about you, but you could start at $10 a paycheck. And I know anybody could start, well, most people can start as little as 10 or 20 a paycheck. But I'm done now, y'all. Somebody else can just take it from there.
What they saying in the chat, man. Let's
That's,
read some
that's
chat.
where I'm going right now, why I can shut up my mouth and see what Mark just said, mutual funds. Yep, Selena, uh, and she's agreeing with Mark. Vincent is answering back in the chat room. Appreciate that, Vincent, especially
No,
while
but there's some that was saying start with 5 and 20. Mark said if you can open up a bank account, you can open up a money market account, right?
Yep.
So
well
you got to
said.
make some sacrifices, right? Like
Yep.
$10 a paycheck, right? And again, if you're in corporate America and if they offer you a 401k,
Oh man, you better get
and
that.
if they match, so
Matt.
maybe they're
Oh
Or if
yeah.
they
matching up
match
to
it,
a
or if they
certain,
match it, you in the program.
yeah, they
But
matching up to a certain percent. Sorry,
also
Keith, go ahead.
HSA account. You get an a HSA account also. You can fill that up, and at the year you can take that money and put it into a Roth, turn it into an investment thing. But it's your money. It's so many ways. It's so many vehicles, man, that we don't know. And it's like you said, it's a lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
especially for our young people, man. Our young people, if you get that knowledge now, and you live under, like I say, when I say live under your means, to be able to live within your means. Me and Vince, we had a whole big old discussion about that. But I say to live under your means, to live within your means, to be to that. It's always levels to this, man. And like I say, yes, the old key. I think I lived in a lot of fear, and had a lot lack of knowledge. The reason I had fear, the reason because I didn't have the knowledge. Like I say, when I started getting the knowledge, I start my risk tolerance. I start, like you said, you have no choice but to do it. I'm telling you, that $10, and I know people say $10. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, don't waste your time on no $10. You spend $100 on, and like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit up and tell you to do no $10 when I know you got $100, and it's gonna make it valuable for the $100 because that's how important it is. I tell you, let me tell you like this. You spend $1,000 on car note, and you can't spend $500 on you put. I tell you do 500. But see, if I tell you do that 500, that's gonna shock you right there. But you'll go buy that car for $5 and pay $1,000 a month for that car note, and I put you 500 back for you to take care of the old you. That's gonna benefit you way more than that car. That car ain't gonna last as long as this gonna last you a lifetime. So that's what it's about, man. As much as you give, man, at the end, I'm telling you, you paying yourself. You paying yourself for you. And if you young, man, I'm telling you, the benefits with, oh my God, I'm talking about millions. It's in the millions. And it's just because we didn't know. It ain't just somebody played the trick. You just didn't know. Now that you know, man, what you gonna do with that knowledge? That's the question.
Yep.
Folks, we're talking about making it in America, dignity over illusion. And the three of us are saying it doesn't have to be an illusion. You can make this real. What say you, Vincent?
I was just about to type in the chat. I was like, all that's good and gravy, but let's not forget about the power of relationship, right? The power of relationship can also get you to places. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? Because the who you know can tell you what you need to know in order to get to those circles. We have people on this chat that's offering to help people, that's giving advice, right? Like, and again, Mark was right on the, if you're afraid to put something in a stock, then go the safer route and get an ETF, because an ETF basically is a conglomerate of a lot of the top stocks, right? So it's like, let me explain it to you in like a sports term. You got Jordan, you got LeBron, you got Kobe, Steph, King. Okay, if one is having a bad day, the other four are going to pick it up and still get the win, right? That's what the ETF is right there, explaining it to you on a layman's term where everyone can understand, right? If you're afraid to go the stock route, get the ETF fund, because the ETF fund has the top, right? So your risk tolerance is less averse, right? So again, it's so much game and free knowledge that is being provided by the people in the chat. Now,
absolutely.
Let me say this, man.
Hey, Fletcher, Mark just also added, open a trust account for your children.
Yes.
Yes. See, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's different levels. There's levels to this. Every time you hit one, it's different levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's steps. It's a step to this. Step one, step two. So first off, not spending all your money. Second off, living, like I said, I do the 75, 15, 10. I live on 75% of my income. 10 of it go to saving, 15 will go to investing. Once I get out of debt, I take that. If you in debt, get out there, but stay, like I said, if you got a job, go ahead and get in that 401k. Get the money, the free money. Get the free money at least. If they say they offer 6, get that, and then start working on getting yourself out of debt. And see, those are the things. Once you see, what's holding you is that debt. That's what's holding you. That debt, if you in that debt, paying that debt, them bills on that debt, and you're not deploying your money, use your money the right way, the debt is the one that's killing you. But that's what I would start off. And then give me a emergency fund, because emergency fund, I give me about $2,000-$3,000 put up, and that 10% I just keep putting it in the savings until I get 3 months, 6 months.
And it does require repeating. If you all out there listening, and your job offering you to match you in a 401k, that's an easy grab, folks. That's an easy grab.
Yep, easy.
And let me say this to you, man. I know this lady I know and her husband, they worked at Walmart. I'm telling you, it ain't about the money. It's about what you do with it. They worked at Walmart 20-some years. 20-some years, and I'm talking about got a fortune up, man. Just working at Walmart, deploying their money in their stock, consistently, putting their money in there, raising it up every year, raising it up every time, taking their money, just putting it when they got their raises, they put it right into that. They believed in the system, they trusted in it. And then they start taking off to other things. But I'm telling you, man, when you start understanding and have that mindset, again, when you start getting to that level and have that mindset, it open up so much. Then you start, like you say, being around different people. You start meeting people that can say, hey, did you ever think about this? Hey, the S&P, man, it's been kicking what the last 2 months, 3 months. It's been. You got the S&P, Nvidia, that's carrying the weight. Have you thought about doing that? Planetary. Have you thought of, man? Look at these. They'll start giving you stuff, and you start saying, "Oh, put me, hey man, just go ahead and put you $100. Get the ETF, put you $1,000. Just start off with that."
Really. So look, so tonight we chopped it up, talking about making it in America, friends. It's very, as we have proven to you all listening out there, making it in America is doable. It's achievable. And you could do it and have dignity doing it. And the thing is, you can't allow yourself to be distracted by social media. And sometimes you got to get out of the game of social media and focus on what it is you truly want in life. Do you really want a home? Do you really want to have your son or your daughter set up in a way that they don't have to come and grow up in life the way that you did? Vincent, there was so many opportunities out there in the chat room. We people was throwing out the importance of insurance, 401k, saving account, investing maybe not at the very pinnacle of a home when you first starting out, but having a starter home. Now you get equity, you got money, now you can invest, improving your credit. So many ideals were shared tonight that erase the fact that it's impossible, like so many people may believe it's impossible to own a home. It's too difficult to do this. You see, we focus far too much on what cannot happen instead of putting more energy on what is possible. Friends, we're here on World Premiere Word on the Street to remind you it is possible. All three of us, it's possible. And we're not, it's not because something special about us. It's doable and it's possible for you too. Last word, brothers.
No, I like what you said, extraordinary. It's like we're not, and I know we've talked about this stuff like whenever we sign off, right? And we had these little powwow talks. Like we're not the glitz and glamour, right? You're looking at three individuals from three different walks of lives that are just giving you mere suggestions on what we've accomplished and the things that we've been able to share to get to where we've got, right? No one is better than the other, right? But we're all humble enough to understand, hey, there's some information that Extraordinaire has that I need. There's some information that Keith has that I need, or either vice versa, right? We're recycling the information, right? To whom much is given, much is expected, right? Iron is sharpening iron. We got so many nuggets, right? We're not that glitz and glam, right? You're looking at real individuals, right? And a lot of the times the society overlooks us because we don't have that like
Hey, we're
glitz.
not glitter. We ain't nothing shiny about us,
That's
brother.
it. That's it.
Let me also add this for anyone tuning in for the first time. We divorced men. We all been divorced in our life.
Yeah.
And you know the story behind most men, especially African American. You know what they say. But we all been, and we're still here.
Yeah.
And we all live in a home. Go ahead on, Fletcher.
Well, I am a glam. I like the glam. I like all the glam. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like Vince say, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna do all exclusive. I'm doing all exclusive. I want to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I done got to a point like now. I'm like I want to enjoy different things, different experiences with me. You know what I'm saying? So I believe my money. I trust the money. I'm putting everything on the table. I'm taking a lint out my pocket. That's what I believe in this. I believe in what the American dream. I believe in America. So I believe in what I'm doing. That's all I have. What else I have to lose? I'm going all out. So me, I'm gonna have fun while I'm doing it. I get to enjoy being around my kids. I get to enjoy real estate. I get to enjoy all those three things the Most High brought to me. And I'm telling you, man, all I knew when I lost everything, I just knew to get a job, and it wasn't gonna be no nice job. It was gonna be working at a warehouse, doing some working at a retail store, and it took me all around to having working at a data center, working in IT, working in construction. Till I started my own construction company. Till I got my Airbnb. Till I got different things that going on. And hey, it's all about him, man. So if he woke me up, and I see it, I best believe I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to have dominion on everything. So what we telling you right now, you can have dominion. You can have it the way you want it, not the way extraordinary, Vince, or me. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to live under your means. It's different vehicles, but what you're willing to risk. Yeah. What are you willing to do? I'm willing to, I know I'm going to put everything, and I'm blind, and I know I'm going to put it all. Because I'm going to tell you like this, if I lose it, I know I can get it back now. Back then, I lost and got it back. I didn't know nothing. The stuff I know now, ain't no way. If I lose it, I best believe I get it right back. Like what he said, Jesus said, I can tear it down, I build it back up in 3 days, I can build it right back up because I know a way. I know a way now. I know multiple ways and I got multiple vehicles. So that's what it's all about, man. That's what it ain't about no bragging. It's about the knowledge. Yeah. And I'm happy that I can give that knowledge to my children. I'm telling you, they know they ain't got no excuses for me. I ain't got none. I'm going to give it to you. You don't take it. This is my belief system. This works for me. Now, if you got a better way, take your vehicle, drive that way. But this is the way we going. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is for me. So now I hope that somebody, all this information that Mark, Extraordinaire, Selena, LaDonna, Vince, all that we gave, we don't want to just sound good, do something. We do something.
Well, folks, we come to the end of the show. We thank you all so much for tuning in. And look, make sure you subscribe so you will never have to miss when we go live. Who knows, we may surprise you all and go live on another day, but also we'll always be going live on Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. But in any case, friends, thank you all so much for tuning in. Grab our link, share our link with a friend, share our link on social media. Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there you all know they need to hear what we chopped it up about tonight, friends. We thank y'all so much.
And so now, hold on, can I give a plug in for me? And y'all come check me out, The Blind Truth on TikTok. Also, Keith Fletcher on YouTube. The Blind Truth on YouTube. But come check me out. I'm trying to get my YouTube going on. You know, I know I just want to give me a little self in here, be a little selfish right now. The Blind Truth on TikTok for the people that do TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I be having fun. We be working out early in the morning, do all kind of different things. But we on this spiritual health, physical health, mental health, and financial health. You just got the mental right now with the world premiere Word on the Street and the financial together. So I thank y'all. I just throw that in my show.
Vincent wanted to let you all know he could tell it yourself much better than I. Y'all know Vincent, the guy with the golden voice. He can tell you much better than I. But he really made a point of interest. If you don't have any friends, get you some insurance. Vincent, I want to ask you, what kind of insurance before we go off?
I would say life insurance, and if you're with corporate America, also you already get the accidental life insurance program. Yes. That they offer there, because again, a lot of generational wealth is built in life insurance, and people just again. There's a lot of people passing away, right? We looked at Malcolm Jamal Warner. We looked at Ozzy Osbourne. We looked at Hulk Hogan. Like, we're losing a generation, right? And again, we don't think about the burial, how much it costs to bury someone and things of that nature. Like, again, it's to protect those that we love the most. So get you some life insurance.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all Thursday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. World premiere. Word on the Streets.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of World Premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again.
Thank you,
So take a
Paul.
moment to
Thank you,
subscribe,
Selena.
tap that like button,
Thank you,
and become
Antonio.
part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again. Same time, same place. Right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.